Hello. Look at my nails. They're so bad because I need to get them done again. Hello. It's week 5. I just did my hair. I barely got any makeup on, so you feel like a little crazy. Guys, I have a lot to talk about today. I took a lot of pictures of everything I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I wanted to do all the pictures. Okay. So here's the thing. The Artist's Way is actually a spiritual book, which is interesting because I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting it to be a spiritual book, and I also wasn't expecting it to perfectly align with my current spirituality journey, because I'm someone who has been manifesting for a really long time. I'm someone who has been controlling my thoughts and, speaking positive words, believing in myself, setting goals and achieving them for a very long time. And yet, I would sabotage myself still. I would sabotage myself. I would ignore my creativity. I wouldn't nurture it. So I kept on being straight up what's the word for when someone clocks you? Yeah, being clocked. Is it not standing? Is it not clocking to you that I'm standing on business? That's the vibe of this book, literally. So get this. This lady starts this chapter off, the author, she starts the chapter off with, some of you may be thinking that this sounds like the Magic Wand chapter. I pray and presto, which is interesting because I used to live in Toronto, and presto is the name of the bus system where you get a little card to pay. In New York, it's the MTA. So in Toronto, it's a presto card, which I thought was interesting because I haven't taken the bus in Canada in a really long time, but I used to live there. So I was like, oh, okay. She says, sometimes that's how it will feel. More often, what we are talking about seems to be a conscious partnership in which we work along slowly and gradually, clearing away the wreckage of our negative patterning, clarifying the vision of what it is we want, learning to accept small pieces of the vision from whatever source, and then one day, presto. The vision seems to suddenly be in place. In other words, pray to catch the bus, then run as fast as you can. That's so crazy. I was like, I used to literally run to catch the bus with my Presto card. So, wow. So that was interesting to me because I was like, oh, full circle moment. I love a full circle moment. It's genuinely one of the best things to ever happen to me is to have a full circle moment, because I was like, oh, I used to be here and now I'm not. So she then talks about clearing up guilt from getting too much, which is, again, something that I've struggled with because I was told that you need to earn good things. And if you don't work hard enough to earn them, then you don't deserve them. And what do we know about people who work hard to earn things is they never feel like they deserve them, even when they worked hard to earn them. So I've been having to work a lot on undoing that mindset, which is crazy because the world will literally tell you that you don't deserve things. You don't deserve things unless you work for them. But then when you do get them, you feel like you don't deserve them because you didn't technically work for them. You didn't earn them. You just got lucky, which is not true because you actually want them, which means you did work for them by believing that you deserve them. Anyways, she goes on to say, since everyone can draw on the universal supply, meaning God, we deprive no one with our abundance. We learn to think of receiving God's good as being an act of worship, cooperating with God's plan to manifest goodness in our lives. We can begin to let go of having to sabotage ourselves. One reason we are miserly with ourselves is scarcity thinking. We don't want our luck to run out. We don't want to overspend our spiritual abundance. Again, we are limiting our flow by anthropomorphizing. That's such a big word. Anthropomorphizing God into a capricious parent figure. Remembering that God is our source and energy flow that likes to extend itself, we become more able to tap our creative power effectively. And this really changed things for me because I was like, wow, so real, girl. When we realize that God is actually unlimited source energy, and that it's literally so hot in Mexico, and that just because we have source energy, we tap into that and we get blessings and we get things that we ask for, doesn't mean we're taking it away from someone else, and it also doesn't mean that person doesn't have access to the same source. It changes everything. because it makes you realize, oh, I'm actually allowed to receive. This whole concept of being allowed to receive is a lesson I've had to learn over and over again, because I'm just like, oh, I'm not taking away anything else that anyone else can have. I'm not taking away someone else's blessings by receiving my own. I'm not taking away someone else's space by taking up my own space. Like, there is enough room for us to win. And I have been a believer in this for so long. And yet, when it comes time to actually implement it, I sabotage myself. So that's what I've been working on this week, is reflecting on that. Reflecting, and look at what happened to my journal, you guys. I spilled some water on it. But the good thing is, this is one of the journals that I've gotten most recently that I actually filled all the way up, which I'm so proud of. Like, literally, look how many pages are left. This page, oh, literally one. I thought there was two. 1 page left. I love that for me. 1 page left, and then it's time to buy a new journal. So she told us to list. This is one of the tasks for week 5, is to list 5 reasons that you can't believe in a supportive God, which I like as a practice because it makes you realize, oh, the only reason why you don't believe in God is because of you. The only reason why you don't believe in a supportive God is because of you. It's not because God is not supportive. It's not because God doesn't want to give you what you want. It's because of you. So my 5 reasons were, I can't believe in a supportive God because sometimes it feels like begging. I don't like to beg. Sometimes it takes too long to receive what I ask for. Sometimes it feels hopeless or pointless. Sometimes I still associate God with a male energy, and I hate believing in a male God. And I've been speaking a lot about this on my TikTok. So if you're interested, you can go there. Hey, Chris, what's up? And 5, I don't like to pray to God when I'm angry. So those were the 5 instances where I was like, okay, interesting. So I should reframe my mindset around that. Instead of feeling like believing in God is begging, I should feel like believing in God is empowering. You know, and when it says like sometimes it takes too long to receive what I asked for, I need to remind myself it's because I'm either not asking for what I really want, or because I'm shrinking my goals. I'm diminishing what I actually want, decreasing it. Sometimes it feels hopeless or pointless. Again, that's a fear of receiving. That's a fear of actually getting what you prayed for, which is why I feel like it's hopeless or pointless, because it's like, well, if I pray and I get what I want, now what? Or if I pray and I don't get what I want, then there's no point. 4, I still associate God with a male energy, and I don't like believing in a male God. Yeah, my God is a woman. I think I've made that very, very, very clear. But that's the thing, is now that I've reframed my mindset around my God being a woman, it feels like I don't have to ask for anything. It literally feels like my God doesn't want me to ask for anything as much as she wants me to remember why I want it, you know? And that's where I've been having to put more intentional energy and focus into the things that I actually want. Because when you're asking for something, that reinforces the fact that you don't have it yet, which in spirituality works against you, because the law of assumption is what gets you to actually receive what you're asking for. You got to assume that it's already yours. So when you ask for something, like when you pray from an asking perspective, like, dear God, please get me this, this, this. It's like, dear God, oh yeah, I still don't have this, this, this. And the mother energy of God now is telling me, like, don't reinforce the fact, hello, I think I know who you are, but I'm not going to say your name aloud. But yeah, the mother energy of God now doesn't want me to reinforce the fact that I don't have what I'm asking for yet. She wants me to just focus on why I want it and then assume that it's already mine. So for example, like money. No, I'm not live on TikTok. I'm only live on YouTube right now. For example, like money. So everybody wants money, right? But when you ask for money, what you're kind of saying is, I don't have enough money. So a male god wants you to pray like that because a male god wants you to not believe in the fact that you can have money unless he wants you to have money. Whereas a female god, my god, wants me to remind myself that I'm always abundant. So I don't have to necessarily ask for money. I have to remind myself what I'm going to do with it. So the focus shifts from I want money to I want to help people. I want to put more music out there. I want to run ads. I want to invest in higher quality videos. I want to invest in a better backdrop. I want to invest in a coach or a mentor. I want to mentor other people also, right? To get paid to mentor other people. So that's why I sometimes have issues praying, because I still have that male god in my head sometimes. And I guess that's what this chapter was all focused on. It was about reframing your approach to source energy. And one thing I really like about this book, The Artist's Way, is that the author refers to God, like God, as good, orderly doing. So she makes it an acronym instead of a word. G stands for good, O stands for orderly, and D stands for doing. And so I have to keep reminding myself, as long as I just do good, orderly things, I'm embodying God energy. And it's so simple. It's so simple when it's put that way. And it's like, wow, why are there all these books about how you're supposed to be worshiping God and what God actually is and what God wants, and God's going to punish you and you're going to the bad place and all this other stuff, when all you have to focus on doing is good things, like good orderly things that make sense, things that are easily repeatable, things that don't hurt other people, things that bring you closer to your creativity and allow you to express that. Because again, this is a creativity journey, but from a spirituality perspective. So it's not just about, hey, let's paint and do art and make music and have fun and sing and dance, which is all great and dandy, but it's more like, how does this recalibrate your spirit? How does this allow you to tune into your highest self? How does this allow you to say the things or paint the things or create the things that are going to heal both you and the people who are watching you and the people who are consuming the art, which I love, because these days, the music industry especially, but also you could argue every entertainment industry, every creative industry, is infiltrated with people trying to be the best, right? And the issue with trying to be the best is you stop channeling your higher self and you start channeling your competitive self. Excuse me. And your competitive self doesn't always produce the work that's going to resonate with other people. That's why artists, rappers, even singers talk a lot about the things that they own. And it's like, okay, well, we love that for you, but now we want to own those things because we associate those things with being better than other people. When that's not the purpose of music. The purpose of music is to make you feel understood, is to put your emotions into words, is to put your life experiences into visual images or videos, right? Is to connect you with other people. That's the whole purpose of creativity. We're meant to connect with both our own spirit and the spirits of other people. And I was reading a book called Your Brain on Music a couple years ago, and one thing that stood out to me is that the author of this book was talking about how, I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but they were talking about how they went to go visit this tribe in Africa and like spent a couple months there and whatever. And every week or like every night, the community members would all get together and they would all sing and dance, and each person would like take a turn singing and dancing. And then they asked him to join the singing and dancing, and they were like, okay, it's your turn. And he was like, oh, I don't sing. And they all looked at him weird. They were like, what do you mean you don't sing? And that's when he realized, oh, singing and dancing is not something you have to be good at. It's just something that you do. And that's why his research was prompted to like investigate where we got disconnected from everyone being an artist, essentially, because everyone is an artist. This is a creative world. You can literally make anything happen that you want to. You just have to remember that. You have to tap into that power, and then you have to clear all the trauma and all the negativity that stops you from believing that it's actually possible to do. So, moving on. The next thing that she said to do in chapter 5, oh yeah, and week 4, last week, I failed at reading. So you're supposed to not read. It was supposed to be a week of no reading comments, no reading magazine articles, no reading the news, no reading none of that, and I failed real bad at that. But this week, I was like, okay, let me try again. So I stopped reading as much of my TikTok comments. I stopped reading. Well, I don't even really read the news, but I only responded to the messages that were important. I didn't open any irrelevant emails. Like, I didn't do any of that. Hola. Hello. So I think I did a little bit better at my week 4 task during week 5 than I did during week 4. So moving on. 10 ways I'm mean to myself. So the author makes you do these self-reflection practices so that you can check yourself, because once again, creativity is a spiritual journey, but not everyone is going to be able to be there for you all the time, making sure that you're staying on track. So when you write these things down, when you actually explain to yourself, oh, this is how I'm mean to myself, then you can identify it in your day-to-day life when it pops up. And that helps you stay in tune with your creative energy, even though you're doing other things that are not creative. So, number 1, allowing myself to procrastinate. That's one of the ways that I'm mean to myself. Not sticking to my morning pages. And morning pages is when you write 3 pages in your journal first thing in the morning before you even do anything else. Sometimes I skip those. I think I skipped it once this week, but usually I do it. 3, reading my comments. Yeah, I'm mean to myself by reading my comments. Yeah. 4, taking it personally when people stare at me or bump into me. This is an issue I had a lot this week. I made a TikTok about it already, but I had this issue a lot this week. For some reason, I really did, and I took it personally. So I'm mean to myself because I take it personally. Does that make sense? Because I could be nice to myself and not take it personally. 5, seeking to love someone instead of loving myself. I think this is an issue that a lot of women have, but especially women who grew up with very enmeshed families and very codependent mothers, because you see your mother like pouring into everyone else in the family, pouring into the neighbors, her friends, her husband's family, whatever, and completely neglecting herself. And it's not to say that you should only love yourself, but sometimes I get overwhelmed with like, where do I put all this love? I do want to love somebody, you know? And then I forget, oh, girl, the person that you have to love right now is yourself. So I got to stop being mean to myself and remind myself, love yourself. I know it sounds simple, but it's actually so hard to do. I don't know why. 6, ignoring my cleaning and chores. I hate cleaning. I straight up hate cleaning. I don't mind cooking, but I hate cleaning, you guys. I hate cleaning the bathroom. I hate cleaning my room. I hate washing the dishes. I don't want to sweep floors. I don't want to wipe windows. I don't want to do any of that. So I was thinking actually of getting a maid, because lately I've just been like doing the bare minimum, and I'm like, this is not good enough for me, because I don't like to live in a place that's not clean or not organized either, but I also hate cleaning. So it's like, okay, then I got to pay for a maid. I do. So yeah. 7, not being able to get off my phone. How many of you guys have a phone addiction? Yeah, I have a phone addiction, especially at night. I'll be so tired and I'll open my freaking phone and I'll be on my phone scrolling, and I'm like, okay, the next video, that's the last one I'm going to watch, and then I'm going to bed. And then I scroll for another 2.5 hours, and then it's like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, now I'm going to sleep. So I put the phone down and I try to go to sleep, and I pick it up again 5 minutes later. That's really what I'm struggling with. And I know that that's being mean to myself, because I can't respect my own boundaries. I can't respect the fact that I need to get off my phone and go to sleep, which is crazy. 8, still believing that things have to happen slowly and logically instead of quickly and magically. So again, that's me being mean to myself because I've already made things happen quickly and magically just by believing in myself. So I'm actually being mean to myself by not believing in myself. 9, overgiving to others when they don't return the favor. Yeah, I still have my people-pleasing tendencies. I do. And 10, thinking about my exes. Guys, I don't even claim any exes, but I just think about guys that I like had interactions with, and I'm like, ew, why am I thinking about you? I don't even like you. And then I realized, no, I did like them. I did. Once upon a time, I was that girl who liked them. That's a scary thought. Sorry, I just have to like get these little energy bursts out of me sometimes, but I've been doing that a lot. I've been thinking about my exes a lot, and I've been like, ugh, turn off, brain. I don't want these thoughts anymore, brain. Turn off, brain. And my brain just won't turn off, which makes me realize they're probably thinking about me too. And then I have to do a cord cutting ritual. So I don't know if you guys know what cord cutting rituals are, but I do them often because I did a course that taught me how to do them. And now every time I feel like someone's siphoning my energy, like, wow, I just remembered a dream I had last night. I'll tell you guys about it and then I'll get off. But every time I feel like someone's siphoning my energy by obsessing over me, and then that's why I start obsessing over them in my head, that's when I do a cord cutting ritual. That is because you have too much energy. Facts. I do have a lot of energy. And I've been very productive lately, and I love that for myself. But also, I'm like, damn, can I take a break? Can I relax? Can I chill? Anyways, so the dream I had last night, I was in this Mexican makeup store, and Mexican makeup stores are like really cute, but they're very like tightly packed together and stuff, right? And there was this girl who didn't want to move when I said excuse me, and she turned around and she gave me a dirty look. And I was like, what? I'm just trying to look at the makeup or something like that. And I don't remember exactly what she said after or what I said after, but she like started yelling at me in my dream. And I'm like, okay. So then I took my makeup and I paid for it at the counter, and I'm turning to leave and she's still yelling at me, but there's a mirror like there on the wall. So I went like this in the mirror, and then I didn't even look at her, and then I walked away. And then I woke up and I was like, period. Even in my dream, I'm not letting these bitches get to me. Except they do. Anyways, that was a little bit of my subconscious surfacing, my frustration about the fact that I'm not getting the same energy from people that I used to when I was insecure and didn't think highly of myself. And it's making me very resentful. It's making me very angry. So I'm working through that. I'm trying to work through that. But clearly it is subconsciously affecting me because I had a dream about it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe in chapter 6, I'm going to get the answers on how to deal with this. That's the beauty of this journey, is I feel like it speaks to me at every single moment that I'm going through it, which is why I'm doing it live, so that I can watch it back. So that I can look back at week 1 and be like, oh, damn, I even forgot that this is what I was going through. Because guys, I filled this whole journal with notes. Okay, this backwards YouTube camera pisses me off so bad. So I filled this whole book of notes since like May. I think I got this notebook in May. So May, June, July. It's the end of July now, like literally 3 months, which I love. I've never filled a journal before. I love that I filled this journal. So anyways, I'm going to go buy another journal this week. I shall see you guys on Monday, August 4th. Yeah, I'm doing a show in Tulum on Thursday. I'm dropping a new single on Thursday. Is that it? I think that's it. Thank you to the 4 people who tapped in with me today. This is the most amount of, 5 people. Yay, 5 people on YouTube Live. I'm so used to getting views on other platforms, but YouTube is just like kind of dead right now. So I'm actually very excited. And I started a new TikTok page for just my music. And I'm realizing, wow, once upon a time, I started at 0 followers too. So now I have like 72 or something like that on TikTok. And guys, one thing about it is the faster you grow, the faster you forget where you started from and just how slow that growth actually was at the beginning. So if you want to be a content creator, if you want to be an artist, if you want to put yourself out there, don't get discouraged by that first initial slow period. because eventually it will pick up and you will get so used to those numbers, those amount of views, that you'll forget that once upon a time you started at 0 and you had to earn every single follow and every single view. And that is why I appreciate the people who actually continuously show up for me and continuously watch me. So that is it for this week. Thank you guys for tapping in with me. If you haven't read The Artist's Way, I highly recommend you grab it. It is written by Julia Cameron, I believe, and it's only like $10 or $11 on Amazon. But yeah, that's all. See you next Monday. Ciao. Ciao, mi amigas y mi amigos. Mwah, mwah.